Oh, hello, this is Tak Chong from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I have made in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. In this video, I would like to show you a fried rice which is unique because it is a fried rice made with salmon, also with Chinese sausages. You will not be able to have anyone to make this fried rice for you because it is so unusual. A Chinese sausage is the kind of sausage that has been around for a long time, and they are great for many different types of cooking functions. And so I'm going to use it in this fried rice. Now, this fried rice is referred to as a combinatory stir frying. And the reason is that I cook the salmon differently from the fried rice because in order to cook the salmon properly, it is not easy to cook it and combine it with the fried rice. So I cook it in a different stir-fry session and combine it together. And this is what we refer to as a combinatory stir-frying. This stir-frying technique is very simple but also very effective, because it allows you to combine many different food ingredients together that normally they would not go well. So the first thing is that I'm going to shallow fry the salmon. This turned out to be probably the best way to fry the salmon because this will allow me to fry the skin of the salmon in such a way that they're nice, crispy, and flavorful. And I also cut the salmon into small pieces because this will allow me much better control the doneness of the salmon. This method is probably the best way to cook the salmon because you can control the exact doneness and texture of the salmon. One thing most people worry about in cooking salmon is that they worry about ruining the salmon, particularly when you overcook them. When salmon become overcooked, their flesh become dry. In this case, you never have to worry about this because each pieces are individually and you can control how you cook them exactly how you like it. Now, as you can see here that some of the salmon has skin on it, and the one that turns black are the one that actually contain the skin. The skin contains a lot of oil underneath it, and this method will allow you to drive out the oil from the salmon skin to make it tasty. But at the same time, it is very nice char and give you a great char taste as well as a crispy texture. Now, cooking the salmon this way, another significant effect of this is that you can cook it very quickly. In fact, you can cook an entire piece of salmon after you cut it into sizes like this in less than 4 or 5 minutes. Next, I put in some mushroom. The mushroom is to be very important. As you notice that before I put in the mushroom, there's a lot of oil which actually come out from the skin of the salmon. And this oil is rich in omega-3 fatty acid, and this is one of the reasons of the nutritional value of salmon. The mushroom I use here is a white mushroom. It has a great capacity for absorbing the oil, and consequently, you're able to retrieve the oil from the salmon. Therefore, you can regain its beneficial potential. As you can see, as I stir fry the salmon and the mushroom together, the bottom of the wok really start to getting dry, which suggests that the oil has been absorbed by the mushroom. And this makes the mushroom taste really great. It's really a wonderful benefit, and that's the reason why I always use mushroom during the final stage of stir frying the salmon. But of course, this assumes that you enjoy mushroom. Okay, I set the salmon and the mushroom aside, and now I'm going to cook the fried rice. I'm going to use the wok to cook the fried rice exactly as it is, and I just add a little bit more oil, but I did not need very much. And the next step is that I'm going to stir fry some egg. Now I'm going to use about 6 eggs. The reason I use this many eggs is because, first of all, the eggs are slightly different in sizes because they come from our neighbor, and his grandson raised chicken. So the egg will give the fried rice the flavor which we are looking for. And there are many different ways that you can incorporate eggs into fried rice. This approach is by frying the egg first. I put the egg directly into the wok instead of beating it up because it will give the egg better flavor and texture, because the egg white will stir fry separately from the egg yolk. So all I have to do right now is to break up the egg white and the egg yolk and scramble them. There are other ways you can add the egg to the fried rice. The other method is that you start by frying the rice and then you add the egg. In this case, you cook the egg very lightly, so the egg will actually mix directly with the rice. And this gives the fried rice a very different texture, because in this case, you can hardly taste the egg. So the next step is that I'm going to fry the Chinese sausage by adding just a little bit of oil. I move the egg to the side to make the center space of the wok available. Now here I use 2 sausage links to make the fried rice. The sausage are cut into thin slices and they fry very quickly, and this provides the texture that I need for the fried rice. Chinese sausages can be used in many different ways. It is one of the ancient art in making sausages. And the idea is very similar, but instead of using the traditional way to make the sausage are cured in a different way so they become dry, and consequently they can be stored as it is for a long time without the need of refrigeration. This is truly a tradition of Chinese cooking. Now the next step is to add the rice. I'm going to use about 2 cups of basmati rice. I have this rice in the refrigerator for about 48 hours. Basmati rice is very different from other long grain rice because it has the longest grain, and because of the reasons they tend to have more separate kernels from each other. This makes the basmati rice one of the best rice for making fried rice. Clearly, it is one of my favorite. I used a nifty kitchen tool that's commonly known as a hamburger smasher. It's originally designed for breaking hamburger meat when you make spaghetti sauce or make chili, but it works great for breaking up the rice when you make fried rice. And use this method, it's much easier to break up the rice than using the wok spatula. It definitely prevents the rice from spilling from the wok or frying all over the place. Okay, now the rice is pretty much broken up. Next, I'm going to add some cauliflower. These are actually the stems of the cauliflower. Normally, most people will throw away the stem, but in this case, I chop them up into small pieces, and this actually makes them excellent for cooking fried rice. I like the flavor of the stem of the cauliflower. It gives a little bit of a sweetness to the dish. And in this case, you can use the entire cauliflower without wasting anything. The next step is that for me to just mix everything in the fried rice, and it takes usually about maybe 2 to 3 minutes to mix everything. And you can leave the heat at the highest setting as long as you stir fry everything rapidly. I season the fried rice with some of my wok with tak basic seasoning mix. Now this fried rice will already have great flavor that coming from the cauliflower stem as well as the Chinese sausage. So the basic seasoning mix is a relatively mild. Its intention is to enhance the umami flavor of the dish without overcoming the dish. So it's a good way as a salt substitute, particularly if you do not want to use a lot of salt. And the next step is that I'm going to add in some minced ginger. My wife loves ginger and she loves the flavor of the ginger. And by adding it toward the end, it will provide the maximum ginger flavor for the dish. Okay, now I mix everything together. I add the salmon and the mushroom to the wok. The salmon and mushroom at this point really just for mixing everything together, because now everything is cooked. This way, the salmon will be cooked exactly the way how I like it to be, and the mushroom will be also cooked to the texture that I want. At this point, I add a little bit of a Shaoxing cooking wine. Again, this is just part of my flavor chasing strategy. I'm adding the Shaoxing cooking wine just to give a little bit moisture to the fried rice and also give the fried rice a better flavor. I add the Shaoxing cooking wine from a squeeze bottle directly to area where some of the rice has slightly burned and stick to the bottom of the wok. And this will allow me to basically clean the wok, and I use the wok spatula to scrape whatever that might be burned to that part of the wok. And this method, normally I use with water, but you can use any fluid. So the Shaoxing cooking wine serves double purpose for cleaning the wok as well as add flavor to the rice. You want to add just the amount of fluid that you want. In this case, I just want to have the type of moisture to the fried rice, not too much. To further season the rice, after I do a quick taste test, I'm going to add about a half tablespoon of oyster sauce. I don't need very much, and I just want to enhance the flavor a little bit more. And then I add some scallion that has been chopped. This is the green part of the scallion, and the scallion is way at the end. This will give the dish a nice onion flavor. I do not add it too early, because if you add too early, you will not be able to taste the scallion in the same way as you will by adding it later. Okay, now the dish is done, and the total cook time of this dish, including cooking the salmon as well doing the fried rice, is about 10 minutes. Now it takes a little bit longer to cook using this approach because you have to cook the salmon and the mushroom separately. But it's all well worth it, because in this case I can control the degree of doneness as well as the texture of the mushroom and the salmon, so I will not overcook them. And then when I combine them, which I do that at the end of the cooking process, I will have all the food ingredients cooked to exact texture of how I like it. This method is used in professional kitchens quite a bit. This will allow people to create dishes with different type of ingredients, but each of them will have the right doneness and texture of how they like it. So give it a try. This method can be applied to many different type of cooking situation. Anytime when you have ingredients that you do not want to cook them together at the same time because of their different texture and doneness you want to achieve, you can use method. This is slightly different from the sequential stir frying, which you add food ingredients at different time points. But there are times you truly do not want anything to cook together, and this will be a good way to do it. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine. By using my fast cooking system, you can make home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun. So this way, you can put a meal on the table cooking from scratch using all fresh ingredients in less than 30 minutes. So if you'd like to learn more about my cooking system, subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.